Hello, I'm Alejandra Epigmenio and I'm going to talk about the Cold War. Okay, the Cold War was an ideological, geopolitical, and economic struggle between USA and the Union Soviet Socialist Republic in 1947. It was a battle of ideologies. Main causes of Cold War: the American fear of communism. After World War II, Americans perceived communism as a threat to their freedom. Other cause was the ideological difference in America and Russia. America's political system was based on democracy and capitalism. Its government was based through election. They believed they had to fight the war to preserve their freedom. Meanwhile, Russia's ideology was based on communism, which states that the society is before individual interests. The state owned all the goods and ran for the benefit of society. Stalin developed a strong communist party, so Russia became one-party state. Other cause was that Russia disliked capitalism and vice versa. The USSR touched on capitalism. They did not want to face an invasion again, and Stalin believed that Americans and British wanted Russia to destroy itself. Okay, the USA thoughts on communism. They did not want to see another dictator take control over Europe, and there was a fear that Stalin would treat Eastern Europe badly. So suspicions led to mutual distrust. The Cold War term was first used in 1945 by George Orwell in his book *2 and the Atomic Bomb*. It refers to the prolonged state of any physical battles, but there were several incidents with the military forces of the Union Soviet Socialist Republic and the United States. Now I'm going to talk about the important dates in the Cold War. Okay, November 6 of 1946, it's the Iron Curtain. It's a physical and ideological division of how Europe was viewed after World War II. On the west were the non-Sovietic controlled areas, and the east countries were influenced by Soviet Union. April 7, 1947, the Marshall Plan. So United States gave monetary support to Europe to make it prosperous again. Soviets starved the population in order to gain supremacy. The Allied responds by flying and feeding the city. April 4, 1949, formation of NATO. Communist expansion led United States and Western nations to form the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. May 14, 1955, the forming of Warsaw Pact. Soviet Union and communist nations founded a rebel alliance against NATO. November 1st, 1955, Vietnam War. South Vietnam was an ally of the United States, and North Vietnam was an ally of the USSR. US feared if North Vietnam won the war, other countries would fall to communism. That's why Vietnam War started. April 7th, 1961, the Bay of Pigs. American attack to overthrow Fidel Castro, even though they did not have intention to intervene in Cuban affairs, but it created a dispute. August 13, 1961, the Berlin Wall. Creation of Berlin Wall was a symbol of the suppression of human rights between East Germany and West Germany. October 15, 1962, Cuban Missile Crisis. This was the closest the world ever came to a nuclear war. It was between the United States, the Soviet, and Cuba. November 9, 1989. It's the fall of Berlin Wall. After 28 years of physical border defenses, the fall of Berlin Wall happened. December 16, 1991 is the dissolution of USSR. USSR dissolved the Declaration of the Soviet of the Republics, and it acknowledged the independence of the 15 republics of the Soviet Union. So this was the end of the Cold War. Now I'm going to talk about capitalism. Okay, so what is capitalism? Capitalism is a political system where the production and distribution of goods are owned by a small minority. This minority is the capitalist class, and the working class is the people who serve their ability to work in return for a salary, to produce goods, services which are sold for a profit, and the profit is gained by capitalist class. And the motive of capitalism is producing goods to sell them for a profit and not to satisfy people's needs. How it began. Adam Smith wrote an inquiry into the nature and causes of all divergence, and it's considered the most important economic work ever written, and is known as the father of modern capitalism. Other economists built on Smith's work to solidify classical economic theory, and he argues that the division of labor and specialization produces prosperity. Now I'm going to talk about socialism. So, what is socialism? Socialism is a collective ownership and management of industries and social services by all the people through a democratic government. It has a motive to satisfy human needs. It means an end to economic insecurity and exploitation. How it began. So it began as a reaction to industrial injustice in Europe, also as unemployment, and it's again capitalism. The main precursors are Karl Marx, Robert Owen, Henry Saint-Simon, and Vladimir Lenin. In this map, you can see how the world was divided during Cold War, and we can see which countries were in NATO, which were other United States allies, who were the Warsaw Pact, and the socialist countries allied with the USSR, which are not a lot, but there are some countries that were allied with them, and they were really important. And we have other allies of the USSR, and we have communist guerrillas in a cross. Cold War made a huge impact on the world today and during that time, but I think it led to benefits and to bad things. For example, you know how globalization started, how capitalism emerged, how socialism and communism are like linked, how Stalin and Lenin take over capitalism and communism and wanted to spread their ideas over the world and what they wanted to do, and how some countries reacted over having another person trying to oppress their freedom, because that's where originated principle the Cold War. But I think we can really learn a lot about the Cold War. It can help us about what is happening right now and what could happen and how to prevent it. And thank you very much for hearing this. My name is Alejandra Epigmenio, and I hope you had liked it.